What's going on, Overly Sports? Back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the New York Giants trading all-pro defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence to the Cincinnati Bengals in a trade where I think the New York Giants did really well. Now, this trade broke about 36 to 48 hours ago, and I wanted to wait before I made a video because there was a lot of interesting stuff coming out. I wanted to wait for him to pass the physical, sign the extension, and then kind of hear some of what he has to say and just the reports coming out about him and the Giants. And it's been very, very interesting. Now, Dexter Lawrence obviously was the best player on the New York Giants defense. There's no doubting that. He made everyone look better. The double team to him allowed Brian Burns to get to the quarterback more frequently. Obviously the ripple effect that he has is very obvious. That's just what good defensive tackles do. Same thing for Chris Jones in Kansas City. George Karlaftis is as good as he is and had as many sacks as he has had so far in his career because of Chris Jones. That's what good defensive tackles do. But the Giants were in a very difficult situation, and Dexter Lawrence is one of my favorite players on the Giants, and I think that there's a lot of fans that, feel that same way. But I kind of had a problem with how he handled the situation. And in my opinion, his trade request was not because of money. I mean, that was obviously one of the reasons, but it wasn't the biggest reason, especially when you see that he extended for 1 year, $28 million and not, 2 or 3 years and 35 year, like, it seemed like. But it was pretty clear that Dexter Lawrence didn't want to be a New York Giant anymore. You could tell in Dexter Lawrence's play that he just was not as interested as he has been. And then reports came out today how, he heard about John Harbaugh and that he was very, very, from Monday to Saturday on game weeks, he was very tough, and his practices are difficult, and his training camps were difficult, and reports were that Dexter Lawrence would just show up on Sundays. He would not go through a really hard work week during the week on game weeks and wouldn't have a very, hard working off-season training camp, and so that is one of the interesting things that came out. Another interesting thing was just how Dexter Lawrence has kind of been talking. Like, Giants fans and the organization didn't appreciate him, and I think it was just very, very wrong of Lawrence. The Giants, and I have a problem with it because Joe Schoen worked hard at getting the contract he did with Dexter Lawrence. It was a really good deal for the team, and Dexter Lawrence was still getting paid. So, he signed a 5-year deal. He signed that contract, and then he was, threatening the Giants that, about money and they needed to extend him. I didn't like that. I just think the Giants were kind of in a handcuff situation, having to trade him. I didn't know if we were even going to get a first-round pick, let alone the 10th overall pick. So I think it's a really, really good return for the Giants. Really exciting. We're going to have pick 5 and 10 on Thursday night. I'm going to have a mock-out very shortly. Might even do it live. And then I'll have a 7-round Giants mock. So really excited for this, this week. OBJ was in for a workout and a physical today. Apparently it went well. I'll have videos out on that as stuff starts to transpire. It's a really exciting time of year, and I'm really looking forward to it. But great job by Joe Schoen and John Harbaugh to get a top 10 pick for Lawrence, a guy that they kind of had to trade. And I wish it worked out better because Dexter Lawrence is really good and the Giants are better with him. But, I don't really like the way he handled it. He didn't want to be a Giant, and we don't want guys that don't want to be Giants. And the fact that we had to trade him and teams kind of knew that and we were able to get the 10th overall pick, I think it's a really, really good win for the Giants. For the Bengals, it makes sense. But, this is an organization that if you don't want to be here and play for, especially under John Harbaugh, you're not going to be. You got to really love the Giants and want to be here in New York, or else you will be out of town. So I love the move for the Giants getting the 10th overall pick. We're going to get an exciting young superstar player, and I couldn't be happier with the return. Let me know what it's up down in the comment section. Let me know what you think of the trade. And as always, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. See you guys all in the next video. And as always, let's go Giants.